Hey, everybody. This is Samantha Adams with the Counterpoise Podcast. We wanted to tap in with you guys today. We have a great topic for you, but before we get started, I want to go ahead and allow my hosts to go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, everybody. My name is Everett Stevenson. I'm one of the co-hosts here on the Great Counterpoise Podcast, joined along with the other hosts.
Hello, everybody. My name is Malik Foster, another co-host for the Counterpoise Podcast.
Yep. So today, like I said, we have a really good topic. Today, we're going to be talking about Kens and Karens. We're going to be diving into that because it just seems to be, I'm not going to say at an all-time high, but we've definitely been seeing a lot more of it on social media. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. But before we jump into that, we want to go ahead and highlight one of our Black businesses for you. Before we do any of that, I just wanted to say to our audience, I know that you guys are just looking at my picture. I'm a little out of pocket right now, so I still wanted to go ahead and make sure I joined you. And E has a Black business that he's going to go ahead and highlight, and we're just going to go ahead and dive right in.
So yeah, today we want to pay homage and show respect to Stringfellow Accounting. They're an accounting firm out in Michigan, and they also provide CPA services for any of accounting services and needs that anyone may have. Once again, that's Stringfellow Associates, Stringfellow Associates, and they are an accounting firm in the state of Michigan. You can find them located in West Bloomfield. They also have a phone number and Instagram account under Stringfellow Accountants, and their email is here shortly. That is Stringfellow, Andre, ANDRE at stringfellowaccounting.com. If anyone has any accounting needs that they may need done, they can contact Andre at stringfellowaccounting.com. Andre at stringfellowaccounting.com. So we're going to jump right into our first clip, which is a video that we had from the comedian The Real Earthquake Instagram account, in which he has a Karen who seems to be, and for those who may not be familiar with what a Karen is, ideally this is an entitled what do they call world general, excuse me, this is an entitled individual of the world global minority who is looking to take it out on a young lady who's in our neighborhood. I haven't gotten a chance to see this whole video, so we're just gonna check it out and see what's going on.
I was go ahead, ma'am. These businesses here, because I can. It's a public on the park. Can people pick up here? It's just a pickup. Okay. It looks like a drug deal. I don't care what it looks like. Call the police. I pay $50,000 in taxes. I pay my mortgage. This is how. Do it at your house, lady. If that's your house, do it at your house. If there's a problem, tell someone. Okay. Thank you. I was trying to give you a heads up. Get a heads up.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. For the hair services. Thank you, love. I will. Thank you.
People don't go around every day. People parking there. You know what? I'm just saying.
50 in Texas. I'm playing with her.
Well, I would like you to not do it here.
That camera angle was right on time, though. How she put to a public park. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
Thank you.
He said it looked like a drug deal. Like what?
I love how she panned that camera out right then and there when she said that, right? Like that was hilarious.
Right.
Right. And so, let me just say this, right? Just to make it a little bit more narrowly tailored. The definition of a Karen, right, comes from, like he said, it's these people that have these entitlement issues. They feel like they're entitled to be able to tell people what to do. And typically, a Karen is typically a white woman telling a black person what they should and should not be doing, how they should and should not be living their normal everyday life, which includes minding their business. So, and every single time I see any of these Ken or Karen videos, it stems from some person who happens to be white, who is extremely fragile because they want somebody who has control issues, who wants to control how other people live their lives. And so it turns into this big thing. Sometimes the police are called, sometimes they're not. And it's just ridiculous because it stems from people having a hard time minding their own damn business. And I mean, to say that it looks like a drug deal, why does it look like a drug deal? Because I'm pretty sure, ma'am, Karen, if you had one of your little friends come over and you needed to bring something outside to them, I don't give a damn if it's a cake tote, some aluminum foil, some sugar, whatever. It's gonna look like a drug deal if you bring it outside. So, to say that something looks like a drug deal just because she's coming outside, is it really because she's coming outside and handing something to somebody, or even in exchange of money? You know what I'm saying? Or does it look like a drug deal because they're black? That's the real question. You know what I'm saying? And it stems in a form of race. It is a form of racism, right? And that's the reason why, when we talk about it, we talk about the caucacity, because it's really the audacity of certain Caucasians. Because not all white people are like that. Let's just be clear. Most white people are not like that. Most white people mind their business. Even if they don't like it, they still mind their business. You know what I'm saying? But it's these people that feel emboldened to have to tell you what you should and should not be doing, when really they need to be minding their business. So, Malik?
Yeah. My thoughts on it is that I think, Black people definitely need to be aware of some of the racial undertones of what, some of these Karens are doing. In this instance, like, just because she's a woman doesn't mean, she's necessarily on your side. So that womanhood stuff, everybody else isn't really what it's all cracked up to be. And, they use words like, oh, drug deal, like criminal words, like, oh, you must be a drug dealer, criminal thug, stuff like that. And even though it doesn't mean you're directly black, but everybody knows, like, oh, you're trying to be associate this with black people, even though you're not directly saying, oh, a black drug dealer, you're just saying, oh, this looks like a drug deal because you're black doing something that they don't deem as appropriate, or they just don't like you being there in that space. Like, it's either you're doing something wrong, or they don't like you in that space.
Yeah. Before he jumps in and we go to the next video, I did want to give a quick disclaimer about this next video. There is some language in this video that people will find offensive. I'm not going to say may, but people will find it offensive. So I did just want to go ahead and put that out there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just want to jump in too real fast and leave my comments on this last one before we go. With that last video, I also want to say, like, part of the whole thing to the audacity is the fact that, it's a public venue, a public place, and you just felt like, it was yours to feel like, oh, you can take this stuff, your affairs elsewhere. Like, this is a place that's open to the public. It was an open park that was out there. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily sure, even if it was something that was open to her as you know, a citizen in that neighborhood because it looked like across the street may have been like more residential neighborhood type of situation. So I don't know if it's like a subdivision where they might have had a park within the, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah, someone do have that, yeah.
Where, you know what I mean? That could have been a subdivision where it was a park inside of that. But either way, the lady was allowed into the gates of that subdivision in order to, you know, make that transaction with the lady that was conducting business. But so I feel like, you know, it's the caucacity, excuse me, the caucacity to feel like, you know, you own a public space and that you, because you deem something not to be, because you deem something to be something that it wasn't, it was incorrectly, you know what I'm saying, assessed, but because that's what you thought it was, you felt the need to go talk to someone and tell them to take it elsewhere. That's the whole point of this whole show. But lastly, I do want to say though, to the lady's point, again, you know, you can conduct your business where you choose to conduct your business, but on the level of professionalism, which is another episode that we did talk about, you know, how you doing it and what you're doing, like the way you do it, that does speak volumes to a degree. And it's not to say there's anything wrong with meeting people and, you know, getting your product off however you may need to. But sometimes, like you said, just the fact of like, you know, having a shop or having something or shipping things, having packaging and things like that, it goes a little bit further towards a level of looking like, okay, here is X, Y, and Z. They're taking their craft serious. They take their business serious in the way that it's presented, in the way that it's marketed, in the way that it's also received by the customers. So that's just something I just want to add in on that too. As we transition into this next video.
Okay.
That's where I live. Come fucking see me. 2 hours later.
So let me just say something about this. So let me just say something about this video. A lot of people don't know the context about it. This guy in the green, okay, he was harassing some of his neighbors, right? There was 2 black women, if I'm not mistaken, and there was a black guy who went over to defend his neighbors, and he had been harassing them for an extended period of time. And when I mean extended, I don't mean hours. I mean over the course of a number of, I don't know, weeks, days, months, something like that. And the black gentleman pretty much stepped in and defended them and told him to leave them alone. And in doing that, they got in each other's face. The black guy held a lot of restraint because the guy in the green, the white guy in the green shirt kept bumping him and doing things of that nature, you know, pretty much saying he was gonna fuck him up and all this other kind of stuff. And then it got to a point where green shirt decided to drop the N-word. And he called him a nigger and a monkey, and he said, and if you don't like it, you can come see me. And that's when he gave that, if you come see me, that's what you guys saw, and he gave his address. Well, the video went viral, and people pulled up. You know what I'm saying? So not only did they pull up, but because the whole incident was filmed, they filed the police report, and the guy was arrested. So, you know, that's the thing about, and for the record, you know, a Ken, in case people haven't caught on, is the male version of a Karen, right? So, you know, people are getting sick of it, right? Even the police are sick of it. Like, you know, we can sit here all day and talk about police brutality and all that stuff, but the truth of the matter is police have other things to do, right? They don't have time to be going up to your swimming pool to try to arrest somebody who lives in the same building or complex that has the same right to use that swimming pool, or to be, you know, following up on all of these crazy, stupid, frivolous calls. You know what I'm saying? When you got real crimes happening. So, you know, it's increasingly, because it's a waste of money and resources, right? So, you know, it's incredibly frustrating for the police. But in this instance, you know, the dude got arrested. And, you know, I'm a criminal defense attorney, but I feel zero remorse for that guy because he did everything he did, he was supposed to get arrested for, you know? And he should not have been out there harassing those people for minding their business, you know? And that's my opinion about Ken. Guys?
Yeah, Yeah, I think with the Ken situation is very interesting because I know the video didn't really depict this, but like when the officers came up to them, because there was police officers that I guess you could say de-escalate the situation, but they really didn't. The Ken in this case, that guy, the white Caucasian male, he basically walked away, said all kinds of stuff, said pull up, like basically Sam was saying, like, come to my house. Here's my address. He had to call Audacity. Is that what we're saying? No, call Cassie. Sorry, excuse me, not call Audacity. Call Cassie. He had to call Cassie to really just act like he was in control of the situation. He could do whatever he wanted, so regardless of whether there's cops or other citizens around. He thought he was above the law, and the cops went ahead and got him. So, I mean, he really had to face the music in this case because, with the power of social media and everything, and, everything that's going on with Black Lives Matter, Black rights, all that kind of stuff right now, it's just like you can't really just say whatever you want just because you're a Ken, so to speak. You can't just call on Black people, can't do what you used to do because, Black people respond differently now, and with the power of social media, people aren't just going to take that like they used to. And you can't just easily get away with your, racial undertones, your racist and prejudicial acts towards Black people. So I think people are starting to realize the consequences of that. Got anything on this, E?
Yeah, quickly. I definitely think that this was a good example of it, and I think it was another video. Was it a little bit prior to this one? With or was this the one with the young man where he was harassing the young man that was walking home?
Yeah.
Okay, this was that video, correct?
No, this is a different one.
Right. This was okay. This was the second one because I was gonna say I know earlier in the year we saw another example of a young man walking home, and there was another gentleman, I believe, who was harassing a young man, and then we didn't see that man get arrested, but we did start to see a lot of individuals pull up because he kept asking him, like, like, do you live in this neighborhood? Do you live in this neighborhood?
No, that guy did. That guy got in trouble. He was in the military. He got like kicked out the military and all that other stuff. So he did
Right.
definitely.
I knew he was. I felt like he had some type of government ties. Exactly. Wasn't exactly sure, but he was like a sergeant or something like that too. Then got disciplined. But nonetheless, I felt like what I enjoy and the takeaway what I really loved about this whole message was that when people stand and unite in that front of saying, you know what, in the face of injustice, we're just not going to let you bully people. We're not going to let you, disrespect people for just being, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone should have a certain level of quality to life in which they don't have to be feared or feel as though, because of the color of their skin, the texture of their hair, the whatever it is, the music they choose to listen to, the volume of the music they choose to listen to, the sound of it, whatever, the language that they speak, however, whatever. You know what I'm saying? What styling they wear, of the turbans that they may wear on their head, I don't care. It does not mean that you have to judge them based off of your preconceived notions that you may have of an individual that you hadn't taken the time to know and judge. So I really like that these are examples in which the people have came and stood behind individual victims that they have seen. And more importantly, it was local people. I'm not necessarily sure if people flew in to come be a part of these things, but I'm sure a good amount of people were local people. And that's some of the things that I think this year in particular, in the last year and a half or two, or excuse me, last year or so, we've seen a lot more people come together like that. And that's one of the things that I think is a good thing, because you know what I'm saying, it shows that a lot more people are kind of being more conscious to things that's going on, being more aware, and are being more supportive by taking actions as far as standing with other individuals, standing on behalf of other individuals, and letting them know, okay, if you're being disrespectful, you're doing some idiotic stuff, you know what I'm saying, we're not going for it. So I think that's one of the best answers for it is for the locals to support individuals who, you know what I'm saying, who have to go through misfortunes such as the ones in these examples that we had just saw.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, E. For sure. And the law enforcement is definitely in on some of this stuff too. So That's another point.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
All right, guys. So now next up, we have a video here with the young lady, this Karen lady, inside of it looks like Victoria's Secret. And so here's this video.
Okay, no, excuse, now you are.
Oh yeah, this clip was shared by Viola Davis, and that other one was shared by allhiphop.com.
Do you see it? Oh my God, I never thought nothing like this would happen to me. She just tried to run and hit me. Now she,
What?
did you see her? You saw her, right? They all saw her.
That lady, hey, old girl in the background, like, oh no, let me get my little transaction going, because I see this on BS.
So this is what happened back in the day when they always accusing black men of raping white women, probably.
Right. That's exactly what this is like.
Like, you didn't give me what I wanted. You raped me. Like, what? And then it's like the lynch mob comes out.
This do not feel real.
Wow. She's really or exaggerating this.
I'm trying to tell you something. The drama is real. She needs a freaking Oscar.
I gotta get
I
security.
like how everybody's just like continuing their transactions. Like,
Security for me,
whatever.
right?
Right.
I want security for you now. No more
Right.
crime.
Did security pull up
I
though?
want security. I thank you.
I'm trying to tell you something.
Man, and why isn't management out here like, ma'am, get off our floor?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like, what is
Or
she
get out of
doing?
the store. You are holding us up. It looks like it's a
Right.
new customer now, so they still going on with their business though.
Yeah, people just stepping over.
Man, the shop's
Like,
still open. Boy, you hear me? Shop's still open.
you still gotta
All on the
make
floor.
transactions out here.
Boy,
you-
this is hilarious.
Victoria's Secret told you they bought that dollar. They don't care nothing about this lady falling all over there.
At all. Excuse me, next in line, please step over her. Next in line,
Yeah.
the pandemic came back, we need all that.
But wait, this is my favorite part of the video. Here we go. Watch. Watch the leg.
I'm going to protect myself.
Ma'am, we don't need you to lower your tone of voice already. Off rip.
Right.
First off. Ma'am.
Oh, my.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, the rage. You see the rage? Like, what is she even mad about?
Oh, snap, she about to come back.
Look at the
And
look at the one over there.
manager though. Look at the manager though.
She attacked me. And she
Looking like
you come. Look at this.
Oh, she coming still.
Y'all
Woo!
better get this lady.
I'm sorry, this is not funny at all.
yeah, now you ain't chasing me around the store. You chase me around the store, you
So
might
not
get
funny.
hit.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Shut
God,
up.
where's
How that
security
girl
at?
walking backwards like this?
Where's
I
security?
know this whole store like this. How she walk there backwards like that and just, you really? Hey, she must be on that like that tag game. Y'all ever be watching like sometimes they be doing like human tag, like sports tag together. Like, you know what I'm saying? She look like she playing that, like how she can just move.
No, I got
Effortlessly.
to protect myself. She's trying to attack me. No.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should,
But,
man.
but I'm trying to tell you, you try to attack me like that in the store, you might get laid out. I'm not
Right.
playing. You try thinking you're gonna run up on me. I'm not about to run away. We're gonna fight.
You gotta protect your ground. Stand
You
your
have to
ground.
protect yourself. You know what I'm saying?
What they say in Florida, your castle is where you at. Ain't no,
I'm trying to tell you.
ain't no,
Yeah, this is my castle right
your
here.
castle is where you stand.
And that doesn't mean like I'm choosing violence, but at the end of the day, she
Yeah,
chose
somebody's
violence
wearing
and
a
I had to
bumper.
defend myself. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the woman that the victim of this harassment and assault, okay, she had a lot of restraint because not only did she not return, like she didn't defend herself, she fled, even though I'm pretty sure she didn't really have to. And second of all, she continued to film it throughout the duration of it. That woman was out of her mind with rage and fragility. I don't even know what she was mad for, but falling all out on the floor, having a whole temper tantrum, chasing down the woman because of whatever, like you gotta get a hold of yourself. Because if you don't, you look, and I'm saying this not to make it come off like it's a threat or anything like that, but people with these types of issues, these Ken and Karen syndromes, having this caucasity, this white fragility, they need to get a hold of yourself because y'all gonna mess around and do that to the wrong person, and it's gonna be a whole nother discussion. You know what I'm saying? Because, like Malik said, people are not tolerating this type of behavior the way that they used to. You know what I'm saying? And also too, with the pandemic going on, people are not right in the head. Okay, and I personally, it's a personal opinion. Nobody has to share it. It's totally mine. But as far as I'm concerned, the pandemic has caused some people to be on edge so bad that violence has increased all over the country. Things like that. And so I get that there's desperation. I get that there's fragility. I get that there's all of these other issues. But people ain't playing. So people don't have the same kind of patience and tolerance, especially those who have lost a lot, like lost jobs, lost homes, lost all kinds of stuff. So you can't keep fooling around playing with these people thinking that you are that high up and that high and mighty when somebody is not going to respond to that foolishness and match it with the same type of foolishness, only you're going to end up becoming the victim of your own crime that you initiated. So it's like, just chill. Go mind your business and leave people alone. You know what I'm saying? And I think that right there is the biggest issue with it, because people are out here like, what was all of that? That woman fell out on the floor like a 3-year-old at the grocery store who couldn't get cinnamon toast crunch, or couldn't get the candy bar, or the unnecessary crap from the store that mama said no for. It was absolutely ridiculous, and that woman was grown. Like, my response to that, like I said, that woman had incredible restraint, because all I would have did was make her more mad by my response. My response would have did nothing but make this situation worse. You see what I'm saying? I might have laughed. I might have told her to mind her business. And the minute she started to advance on me, I'd have knocked her out. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but, you can't go attacking people because you don't know how they're going to respond.
Yeah, but
Let me
Sam,
just say
when you
this
do
real quick,
stuff like
though.
that,
Let
Go
me just
ahead.
say it real quick. Like, I think because this is like you said, this is a controversial thing, because, like, being honest, I think it kind of shows, like, I truly do applaud that lady for, like you said, for showing that restraint, because a lot of times women don't really receive, like, consequences, I say, in the sense for their behaviors, and in essence, and especially like we see here on white women in particular, you know what I'm saying, for some of the behaviors in which they display. And I think this is an example of it. Like, that lady could have probably like wailed off and went with it. But I think she understood that even though women can kind of get away with some things sometimes, she understands that being black and her blackness would automatically put her in a situation in which she's fighting from, you know what I'm saying, the underground to prove more. Like, so, but for the fact that she had the footage, okay, cool. Things would have looked, you know what I'm saying? She would be able to have, a defense that shows what took place prior to. But had that not been there and it just been word versus word, you know what I'm saying, most likely based off of how society kind of works, it would have looked as though it would have been like she had an uphill battle to fight. And so, like, the fact that she understood, probably like, you know what,
right,
I'm in the right, there's no reason for me to do this. But like you just said, though, to your point, Sam, that's very challenging, because 9 times out of 10, the average person's response is going to be, she ran up on me, let me react. You know what I'm saying? Because your natural defense is like that. And the reason why I said that that's so wild is because as a guy, you're technically told to take that stance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're told, if that woman ran up on you like that, maybe restrain her, hold her, like calm her down until maybe some help could come. But like, you're not told to react whatsoever. But you just seen somebody maybe come at you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Where it's a dude, it's like, okay, whatever, handle your business. But like, when it's a woman coming at you, even though she coming at you all the way crazy, like, you have to handle it just like that lady did in a sense, or if not better, by either removing yourself completely from the situation. You know what I'm saying? Leaving the store, whatever. But like, it's just like just like you said, like, it's just that audacity is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think twofold, like that lady understood that. One, you know what I'm saying? She was already in the right. There's no reason for her to even throw no bows, no nothing like that. And two, even if she did that somehow, some way, because of how things work, she would have found herself fighting a harsher punishment than, you know what I'm saying, the other lady, even though she was completely in the right. And that's how sometimes the system works. So I feel like, you know what I mean, that she did the best decisions that she could do, which was expose that lady. That lady probably realized, like, that man that was in New York who told that man he had to speak English and not Spanish because he was in the U.S. now. She realized that she probably was going to be like that man and one of the first individuals to get canceled for doing some foolishness in public.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this lady, I think she wanted to do the white, and I say so. So just because she's white, she could do whatever, cry, scream, yell, and people are gonna take her side, and she can point the finger at the black lady who was on the who was recording the video, even though she was the one who was the aggressor and one who initiated the whole confrontation. But just because she initiated it, and then she just basically cries wolf, this must have been something that she's done in the past because it must have worked. Like she aggressive, it didn't work out that way. Maybe somebody like slapped her up, beat her up, you know, tore her up, and she just started crying, and then everything goes her way.
No, I don't even think it has to be an abusive situation, Malik.
No, I'm just giving an example. Like she's probably done this before.
Oh
like
yeah. No. I think it's learned behavior
Yeah.
that occurs throughout life. It could be something as small as, like, if I, whatever, like I stole some candy, I stole something on my mama's purse, whatever. Like, I act sorry, whatever the case may be. I act like something's wrong with me.
And she ends up getting her way.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, for it to get to that level of extreme, she started screaming, yelling, going like she knew I gotta reach deeper in the bag because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because there was a camera, everybody saw.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta put on the bigger theatrics because I need to get out of this one real fast. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I think it's smart with smaller things as a kid. Like, that's how they like kids learn to be this sneaky, deceitful, You got to teach them that's not the real way to do it. And then if they keep getting caught, you know what I'm saying? You let them know, like, okay, if that's how you're going to play it, let me show you how I'm going to play it because you're going to get in this world and think that that's okay. And then you're going to hurt yourself before, you know what I'm saying? And let me stop you from you know what I mean? Because the world going to come for you one way or another. But if you don't understand that the things that you're doing are going to affect you and can ultimately crash and you can hurt yourself because you're putting yourself on a destructive road by doing these type of things, then you won't understand that. And so here was an example of which she got away with doing that shit a lot of their time of her life. And now it just hits you like, boom, 2021, you know what I'm saying? In reality, now you realize, wow, there's like the per diem change. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now the game isn't what it used to be. Everything is, you know what I'm saying, switched around a little bit. Or as they said in the NBA, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And so, now we're looking at it and she's looking at it from the outside looking in and like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, shit shifting and you know what I mean. It's a new way. So yeah, I think that's like as Malcolm said, like the chicken. What is that? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
No, I was gonna say, guys, there's no shortage of these Ken and Karen videos. You know what I'm saying? And when you go and you see these videos, you see this acting, this crazy theatrical, dramatic production of people randomly falling out on the floor, talking about, oh, it hit me. Person be 20 feet away, like all kinds of foolishness. But what a lot of people we didn't mention is this is the behavior that got Emmett Till killed. You see what I'm saying? Like, there was this whole theory about whether or not he whistled at the white woman or whatever he allegedly did, but got that boy lynched. You see what I'm saying? Got him lynched in those types of attitudes. People recognize the consequences of their actions. Like that, Emmett Till was murdered, and the woman who initiated that whole thing lived her whole life. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
She lived her whole life.
Thing in our community where these
without consequence. Like I don't know whether or not. Right, without consequence, and I don't know whether or not she was haunted by whatever. But at the end of the day, she may have been haunted because she came clean about it. Like, what was it, a few years ago? And then I think, is she still alive? Did she recently die?
Like a little bit before she died, I believe.
Yeah, she came clean a little bit. Yeah.
But it's like, come on, like you got to live your whole life. Meanwhile, this boy boy died. He was murdered because of your foolishness. And not only did he, and the people that killed him got to live their lives. You know what I'm saying? And it's just people recognize that type of the consequences of their actions. And that's the reason why I also say, people ain't like I know, we all been joking because we're laughing. Like this chick looks crazy. And also too, you guys, you gotta
It can
understand
be
black folks
dangerous at the same time. I.e., Emmett Till, like you just said.
Okay,
Oh, you're breaking up a little.
breaking up right now. So, while we waiting on her to kind of get better service,
you're breaking up.
Yeah, so while we waiting on her service to come in a little bit, we just gonna go ahead and continue on with the topic of just saying that, again, like, when we see guys just coming in, or excuse me, when we see examples of people, justice come rather later than if at all, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it ends up having to be on their conscience to say something, and it's like, oh, on their last leg, they want to, admit to doing some wrongdoing. It's almost like, well, wow, like,
But that's the beauty of social media we have now, because like it can actually be captured, like, these incidents, and you can actually see the truth. Before it'd be like he said, she said, and it's like the Karen or the Ken always gets the benefit of the doubt, while the black person is like, oh, you're the criminal, you're the thug, you're the wrong person, you shouldn't have been here, all kinds of stuff. So that's a positive of social media and the cameras today, so we can see the truth that black people have been telling their whole lives, essentially. Because most of the time, it's like these Ken and Karens are just telling lies and fabricating all kinds of stuff, because they know they can get away with it, and apparently they think they're above the law. So that's why they have the caucacity of to actually even do these things. So that's what I want to say on that. I think we lost Sam here. I know she's driving, so she might be in a bad signal area. If she'll tap in, she'll tap back in.
Definitely.
If not,
we definitely wanted to go ahead and say, like, on the topic in general, like, I think some of the ways that I think that people can kind of, I don't want to say combat this, but to be able to protect themselves when in these type of situations is to be like that lady, be vigilant, be able to have, armed with access to, document the process of what all is going on and when it's going on, be able to have an account of, how things take effect, because, I can give an example of my own life where I've seen, if you didn't have the process of everything kind of, documented and shown out, how you can be in a situation and like literally you would look at yourself and be like, how in the world is this even possible? Like, like this can't be real, right? You almost laugh because it's so comical, right? And it's like the injustice that comes from it is just like, oh my God, like I gotta start from the ground and just fight this whole thing up. But what I can say is that like when you know that you're in the right, and you know that you're doing the right things, and you're able to show those things, let that be your, like, let that be your like guiding light. Like, let that be the fact that like, what, I know what's good, I know what it was, and you know what, I'm gonna make sure that this gets shown, because as we're seeing now a little bit more than we might have seen in the past, that people are getting a lot more support for those type of moments. People are getting a lot more respect, and others are starting to stand behind them in those type of settings. So hopefully the local communities and advocates within your community will be right behind you, looking to try to stop any injustice that may have occurred. So I'll say document the process. Make sure that you know what I'm saying. You have all your I's and T's covered, because again, 9 times out of 10, you're fighting an uphill battle, and they're gonna try to make it harder for you any way they can. Even if the individual, like, they're gonna get that benefit of the doubt, likely from the laws or any other individuals that's involved in that situation, unless you show them, or you have that underwhelming proof. And honestly, you don't even have to show it to the police in that moment. You could take it to trial, whatever the case may be, if you something that you feel like you want to litigate on or whatever. So I would advise that as well, to just be mindful of whatever you have, whatever evidence you do have, in the moment. keep it, be quiet, keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? Go meet with your attorney or whoever, present whatever it is that you have, and go on about your day. So those are some of the things that I definitely think that a person can do to kind of like help themselves when they're in moments in which they feel like, you know what, I really cannot believe that, you know, this is going, or you sense that things are starting to go up to another level.
Right. Yeah, I would say in conclusion on my end, I think, keep doing what you're doing, like recording, doing all that stuff that's shedding light to the issues. And I think, you definitely want to get more involved with politics so you can actually implement some punishments to people who do stuff like this, basically fake calling to the cops on Black people because, history has shown us when cops are called, Black people just end up getting killed or something bad happens, jail time. Something bad always seems to happen, more likely than not. So that's essentially a crime when you're fake calling the police on some false stuff. So they need to, implement some more harsher punishments for situations like that. Implement actual punishments for that in some cases, and I think that would help solve some of these issues if people know there's consequences. And the next time you see a high profile or something that goes viral again, and they do this, and they get arrested, like that one video where that guy got arrested. So if we keep seeing more incidents like that, I think that will help quell some of these things, and we won't see a lot of Ken and Karens pop up all the time. So yeah.
I was just gonna say too. So within closing with all of that, I just wanted to let everybody know that we want to thank you guys for following, watching the show, supporting us. Again, we want to give a shout out to our Black Business of the Week, which is Stringfellow Accountant. You guys can check them out at Andre at stringfellowaccountant.com. Also, we also want to say, guys, you can like, follow, subscribe, and catch us on YouTube. Please catch us and follow us. The page is Counterpoise Podcast. You also know, guys, we do this live on Facebook. So if you're watching this on our Facebook page, we appreciate that. We also have the Instagram page, which is Counterpoise Podcast. On IG, you can catch us on our What's Up Wednesdays. We go live on Instagram Live on Wednesday nights around 8:30. That way you guys can come and check us live. We just kind of have a little informal setting of just what's going on in the weeks, kind of current events. You guys can kind of interact with us, join in if you would like, and just let us know what you guys are thinking about, what's going on. Sometimes we just have questions to kind of get to know each other a little bit better and get some more introspective thoughts. And my name is Everett Stevenson. I'm one of the hosts of Counterpoise Podcast. We also have our other host, Samantha Adams. You can find her at Samantha Adams on. Oh, wait, she's coming in here. I'll let her go ahead and close out and get her social medias. But mine is that guy 2104. You can catch me on IG as well. And you can catch us on the Facebook page in the page in the person at Counterpoise Podcast. And the rest of my co-hosts.
Hey Sam, are you Sam?
Malik, you want to go ahead and do yours real fast?
All right. Well, yeah. Here's Sam. She's here. I don't know what's going on, but I'll just give you guys.
Sorry guys, I was in a bad area. I got completely kicked off. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
We were just giving our social medias. We were wrapping up, giving our social medias, and letting everybody know where they can catch us for next week.
Oh, okay. Did you guys give the motivational minute?
Oh, yeah. Go hit us with that, and then we'll get up out of here.
Okay, good. All right, so guys, every week I give you something motivational. Today I found a quote where it says, "We can only learn to love by loving." The reason why I decided to pick that quote is because part of the problem is that people don't love. right? Part of the creation of a Ken and a Karen comes from some level of hate and fear, right? Hate is bred from fear. And so the thing of it is if you love, right, and you love your neighbor, like it says in the Bible, or you love people, you won't have to encounter these kind of things. You give people room to breathe. And so, I just think that it's important for us to just make sure that we love on one another. You know what the next person is going through, and this fragility and hate and racism is bottom line. I mean, as much as we can say that it needs to stop, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will, but it should, because it's just not good. It's not good for the community, for the environment, for the world. It's just bad. So that's why, I picked that quote. And with that said, we just got to do better, treat each other better.
All right. So I think the phone might have dropped with Sam. But again, you can tell Samantha Renee on Instagram, Samantha Renee Adams 777 _777 on Instagram.
And let me just give you all my socials. Y'all guys can reach me at Malik M. Foster on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that other good stuff. And once again, you can check us out at Counterpoise Podcast on Facebook. We go Facebook Live every Sunday at 11:30. We start. And also on Instagram every Wednesday at 8:30. We go live. What's Up Wednesday. So check us out. Tell a friend. And let me take us home right now, guys. Hey.